team handled Johnny Manziel?
I thought we played extremely hard. I tried to play physical. Some of the elements that we really stressed, but on the other hand, at times we didn't play real smart. The pace that they did, going speeding up and everything, we got out of position a few times. But really, there were about 20, 25 plays. We just had to give him credit. He's a great player. He created issues moving around, buying time, and couldn't cover all the scramble routes. Did a fantastic job and brought pressure on him. Not a lot, but when we did, very, very frequently, he handled it extremely well, got that ball out quick. There were really like 3 plays that I felt like it was more Auburn and us not functioning well that we really got to clean up. But overall, the players fought extremely hard on the road in that environment, probably against the best ball operator. I ain't gonna say he's the best football player in America, but he's certainly the best guy with the ball in his hands. I was just real proud of the way they finished. Some things that we worked on in practice were not executed well, and we're still a work in progress. We've got to continue to get better. This week, we've really got to continue to improve, and had an issue, when we lost Holsey on a Thursday. That was tremendous pressure, and the secondary coaches, Coach Harbison, Coach Smith, did a great job moving Ryan White around and getting us patched up on that, but that's something we've really got to focus on down the road because we've lost him for the year, and he was so critical to us in our dime package. But those guys stepped up and did a great job.
Can you just expound on that last offensive series for A&M? You get the ball back, that he gets the ball back with 119, kind of makes some big plays, moves the ball right to the 18. And then can you talk about that series from that point on?
Yeah, well, they had all their timeouts left and never had to use them, so they're sitting there with a little minute. I thought it was minute 24. If it was minute 18 and 3 timeouts with Johnny Manziel, you got all day. So we basically had to just play regular defenses. We couldn't get into any of our prevent stuff, and just had to play, what we've been taking on third down every play. They were still in a situation where they could have run the ball a few times if they wanted to. So he just keeps tremendous pressure on you all the time. I thought our front guys worked their rear ends off trying to catch him, and occasionally they were successful. They harassed him a lot, but he always could escape and cause big plays down the field. The big play was when he scrambled and Chris caught him and got him second and long, third and long, and then we were able to take a very aggressive approach. If it had stayed in second down and third and mediums, it would have been very difficult to come after him with a zero blitz that late. But again, it was just really, I thought it was just a great effort by the players. There weren't any special adjustments or special calls or anything. It's basically what we brought to the game. And hopefully the rotation of playing a lot of players allowed us to play a little faster and finish the game that way.
After a game like that, you only allow 1 touchdown in the red zone. We keep talking about how you can't really figure out why you guys are so good in the red zone. Did you learn anything from that game?
Well, the big thing is we got too many big plays outside of the red zone. They hit at least 4 of their passes were touchdown passes. Well, I think one of them might have been in the red zone, but at least 3 of them were outside of the red zone. So it looks cute on the statistics, and we did play tough down there and did some good things. But the big plays were the ones that were really disappointing. And some of them he created. You can't cover guys running around back there for 7 seconds all day long. But some of them we just didn't play real good technique.
Well, obviously, Mike Evans' size makes that matchup incredibly difficult, no matter who the quarterback is. But with Manziel, when you're worried about his scrambling, it presents a different challenge. What do you take from that and his productivity to the rest of the season as you face the other challenges the rest of the season?
I think if you had a quarterback that throws in rhythm and throws on time, and it's normally the ball's going to come out at a certain time, you can do different things to receivers. You can press them, play roll-up coverage on them. Sometimes a guy can handle him by himself. But when the guy is going to be able to throw the ball in 2 seconds, or he's going to be able to throw the ball in 7.5 or 8 seconds, then that's what causes the problem. And I'm not taking anything away from Evans, but if you take Johnny Manziel off the field, a lot of the routes that are coming open don't ever come open. There's a lot of timing issues to the throwing game. Your coverage is only going to hold up for a certain length of time, and your pass rushers have got to get the ball out of the quarterback's hands, or there's no coverage that's any good. So, you see it all the time with a 3-man rush. He would drop 8 people, play man under, and got 3 deep, and got a robber, and got everything else out there, and something comes open because of time. Heck, you can rush 5 on him, and he creates something that's equal to a 3-man rush. He just makes it so difficult. And that's the one issue about him. He's a great runner. He's a good passer, even in the pocket. But his ability to buy time back there is what everybody has problems with, because you can cover the receivers if you can have to cover them on time. And they're really good players, but we've played some other good receivers. And as long as the ball's out on time, I really have been very proud and very pleased with the coverage aspect of our defense.
Ellis, how much did you have to change the defensive game plan last minute with Josh not being available?
We didn't change anything. In fact, I might have called too much of our dime package. I felt like fatigue was an issue, and looking back at the game when it was over, there are certain coverages we cannot run with the wheelbacker out there, and I didn't want to get handcuffed. But frankly, we could have played a lot more base defense, base personnel. Ryan White did a magnificent job, picked up on how to play boundary safety, and we moved Whitehead and Ryan Smith down to the dime and rotated them a little bit. And then Fisher actually came in and got some reps too. But we felt like that was the best thing to do, because Whitehead and Ryan had been working at the dime, backing up Josh, and they knew the position. So we put Ryan White back at the deep safety, and he did a good job picking that up. I think he had 1 busted coverage and 1 where he just got out of position a little bit. Played the right assignment, but wasn't in the right place leverage-wise. But I'd really give him a lot of credit. He did a great job when he had to step up.
Talking about the guys, especially Nancy and Chris Davis, playing so many snaps against an offense like that and holding up in the fourth
Yeah,
quarter.
and then we've got to rotate more, but Jonathan Jones coming back, it's almost like we just keep shuffling people. And, gosh, if we had them all healthy, I think you'd see a lot better things, even as proud as I am of them when they get tired. We don't have anybody to sub for them, just every 4 or 5 series, if you can give those guys a blow. In addition to that, some of these injuries are costing us some of our best special team players. And those are concerns too. So it's great to get Jonathan back, and I'm really proud of the way Ryan stepped up. But, we lost a safety at the beginning of the year to off-the-field issues. We lost a corner for about half the season. Now we got him back. We lost another safety who was our dime linebacker. He's gone for the rest of the season. It's hard to build consistency and high productivity when you have all that happen. I'm just really proud of how well the players have handled it.
How much better at executing the defense have your guys gotten from the start to now?
They're a lot better, and we're able to put in wrinkles each week, for game planning. They're a lot more familiar with the way the whole thing, the flexibility of it. And they also, the question's good because it kind of goes along with that question. We got guys like Ryan White and Whitehead and Ryan Smith, and some of those guys can line up at different places. Anthony Swain's played both linebackers. We've got some guys that understand the scheme well enough now. We can move them over to another position and give them 3 days of practice, and they're ready to go. So it's been pretty important. But we've sort of also settled into who we are and what we are. And a lot of stuff we worked on through the spring and in the early part of the season, we really haven't run much of it over the last 2 or 3 weeks, because we're starting to kind of find our personnel and what they do best. So we've been able to actually we took a pretty simple game plan in against Texas A&M, and it helped because our players mentally were able to play a little faster.
Ellis,
But you said